What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Shifting Lanes. My name is Hanson, and for this video you find me sitting in the 2022 Mercedes AMG GT53. This one is painted in the manufacturer's Starling Blue Magno paint with the titanium gray, black leather, and yellow stitching interior. And with all of the other little options and delivery, this four-door coupe can be yours for $124,220. And in this video, I want to share with you my likes and dislikes about this wonderful Grand Touring car. And I want to start this review on the outside first, because this is a head-turning car. I took this on a decently long road trip. As you can see, I'm filming in a different location than usual, and this car got so much attention and compliments, to the point where even the police decided to pull me over and check out and compliment the car, amongst other things. Out front, the GT53 has a very powerful presence. The front grille has a forward-leaning stance, and it resembles the AMG GT version. The grille is wide with vertical chrome inserts, and then there's the large three-pointed star logo. The headlights have a fairly simple layout, but highly intricate internals, as you'll see when the high beams automatically turn on at night. And if you look at the hood, there's some pretty aggressive bumps to remind you that there's some wonderful things going on underneath. Around the side, the GT53 has a pretty sleek profile. This model is equipped with the 20-inch AMG split 10-spoke wheels with black accents. This is, believe it or not, one of 10 different wheel options you can choose for this model. Behind the wheels, you'll find huge 14.2-inch cross-drilled and slotted brakes. The tires are Michelin Pilot Sport 4S, which is one of the best performance tires in the industry, and it suits this car very well. This is running a staggered setup with 265mm tires up front and 295mm tires at the rear. At the back, the GT53 has a beautiful quad exhaust with the AMG engraving. The LED taillights look sharp, and the deployable spoiler is a neat trick to show that the exec that drives this car maybe spends their weekends on a track somewhere. This GT53 is a very attractive package, and what makes the car visually stand out even more than the design is the optional silky matte blue paint finish. This is one of the 4 paint options that you can get if you have a spare $3,250 laying around. But relatively speaking, that's a small price to pay considering the eye-wateringly high price of this car. On the inside, the GT53 reminds you that instead of spending that good chunk of change for a hefty down payment for a single-family home somewhere, you spent it on this car. The materials are impressive. The leathers feel great. The natural wood grain looks and feel incredible. The contrast yellow stitching on the black seats looks sporty, and all the metal and plastic trim and switchgear pieces feel very high quality. Mercedes also spent a lot of effort on the little details too. The mechanism within the vents have a smooth action, and there's a satisfying mechanical click when you close it. There's plenty of buttons and dials that have a color display on them, like the various component settings, the driving mode dial, and the redundant exhaust and drivetrain buttons on the steering wheel. The monolithic dual screen layout looks fantastic in this car. The infotainment is a 12.3-inch touchscreen. This is running the MBUX system. It's pretty versatile and works very quickly. There's a lot of themes in it, various displays, and also controls for almost all of the hundreds of features you can find in this car. All of this looks pretty impressive, but it can be a bit overwhelming, especially when you're driving. Navigating through all the options is a bit of a chore, and if you're not well versed with where all the menu items are located, it can take a bit of time searching for it. I do like the fact that there's a special favorites menu on the screen so that you could add any special features that you use all the time on the screen, and it's very easy to access. For example, the driver massage feature, I can just add that directly on the screen and then access it immediately. As for the instrument cluster, it's another 12.3-inch display. This is also a versatile screen, and you could tweak the display to your exact liking. To change the display, you'd have to use the touch capacitive buttons on the steering wheel. It involves swiping motions and pressing in on the OK button. It works pretty well, but just like most touch capacitive buttons, it can be annoying because some of your inputs can be accidental. But aside from those relatively small issues, the interior is magnificent. This is the pure definition of a GT car. And during my 4-hour road trip, the ride was supremely comfortable. The massaging feature reduced driving fatigue, and the overall ergonomics like the seating position, the wheel, and pedal positioning are perfect. These heated and ventilated seats are great for all weather situations, and the amount of adjustment is very impressive that the seat will fit people of all shapes and sizes. This seat also has active bolsters, which will generate more support when you're going around corners, so it'll try to keep you centered. Out of everyone that tried out this feature, they all said, turn it off immediately. And I think they found it disturbing because there's a bit of delay between what you feel on the road and what the system actually does. So it can feel a bit alien or unnecessary. And I agree that this kind of feature is totally overkill when you're just casually driving. But when you're on a track somewhere and you are driving hard and you are experiencing high Gs, you do want to have that additional support to help keep you centered. This way you could have that support without having those extremely thick bolsters for a seat, which can make ingress and egress pretty difficult. And this is one of those cars that you want to drive hard. The engine is extremely potent. Even though this is considered a mid-tier AMG GT 4-door, the GT53 is powered by a 3-liter inline-6 turbocharged engine with an electric supercharger and a mild hybrid system Mercedes-Benz calls EQ Boost. Altogether, the system produces 429 horsepower and 384 pound-feet of torque. The inline-6 feels buttery smooth like most German inline-6s. The electric supercharger feeds in boost very early on, while the turbocharger clocks into work later in the rev range. All of it works seamlessly together and in good harmony, that you only notice the gobs of acceleration in your gut. It also sounds pretty fantastic. When you stab on the accelerator, there's this guttural howl coming out the back. And when you have the exhaust on party mode, there's this supercar-like crackle that is just so satisfying to hear. The 9-speed automatic transmission is also another great piece of mechanical wizardry. The shifting is very quick and also very smooth. And when you leave it in auto and in Sport Plus mode, this will put down 0 to 60 times in the low 4 seconds. As for efficiency, this GT53 is rated at 19 city, 25 highway, and 21 miles per gallon combined. But during this road trip, I have been able to achieve 27 miles per gallon, mostly highway driving, of course. So not a bad performance considering the 4,500-ish luxurious pounds that's being moved around. As for ride quality, it is superb. You can put the suspension in comfort mode and it eats up road blemishes. Put the suspension in Sport Plus mode and it still gives you a comfortable ride quality, albeit with a little bit less body roll. Road and wind noise isn't a factor, even though the wide PS4S tires have a big contact patch on the road and would normally be noisy, it's not at all an issue here. Add to it the fantastic sound system and your commute immediately becomes delightful anywhere you go. And just like I mentioned before, the seats are some of the best in the industry because of all of the adjustability and also the features in the seat itself. Handling wise, the GT53 is brilliant. The steering feels great and the chassis communicates very well. There's plenty of grip between the really great tires and the 4MATIC all-wheel drive system, and the suspension in Sport Plus mode generates a very flat cornering experience. It's not quite up to par to the 2-door AMG GT version, but you can share this amazing automotive experience with up to 4 other people. Overall, the GT53 is an incredible driving experience. It is a proper grand touring car. The engine is fittingly powerful and buttery smooth. The ride quality is befitting what you'd expect out of a 6-figure luxury car. And the handling feels like something that you'd normally find on the racetrack. It has some minor user experience issues, but they are issues that you can easily overlook because the driving experience is just that damn good. I want to hear your thoughts on this, so please leave your comments down below. What do you think of the AMG GT53? If you've learned something from this video or found it entertaining, please consider hitting that like, subscribe, and that notification bell button so that you can be notified anytime we make a new video. Let's wrap it up right there. My name's Hanson. This has been the 2022 AMG GT53, and I'll see you in the next one.